Yeah. What's going on, everybody? FYB presents Wise Word Wednesdays, another live stream to help you get closer to accomplishing your dreams. I'm your host, Joe Spider, and I do represent the fresh. What's poppin'? I want to start off by saying thank you to everybody that's checking this out, whether you're watching on Instagram Live, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, or whether you're watching the recorded version. I still want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to us. You know what I'm saying? We got another dope episode for you this evening, coming to you a little earlier than we usually do, but that's because we got some things to do for sure. But with no further delay, I want to bring up my guy, Devon Truvel from Playback Black Wall Street, the board game.
Yeah.
What's popping?
What's good, Joe Spider? How you living? I'm back and I'm better. And I hear you had on the smooth jazz voice for today's introduction. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to
Ladies and gentlemen,
the.
yeah. You know, we out here.
I'll be here for it. But yeah, I'm here for another good episode. Great conversation. I am off of the creative inspiration and the deep thought from Sinners. So I will
Mm.
preface the conversation with I just watched it. I watched the opening day, of course, April 18th. Huge shout out to the team behind that, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, the entire squad. But definitely feeling very creative after watching that, after watching some of the interviews, feeling inspired after that. So looking forward to jumping into this conversation with you today, King.
Yeah, man, I love that, man. You know, I did definitely saw it as well too. I saw it in IMAX, which was dope.
Mandatory.
Yeah, I felt like, for this one, I got to do it in IMAX. It was really dope. I don't want to do no spoilers, you feel me?
Yeah.
So, because I know it's still, still the first week that it's been out. But yeah, we could definitely well, maybe we might have to do an episode where we just break down, you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
down for it.
Well, what inspired you about it? Let's start with that. With Sinners, man.
Yeah.
What did you
So
gain from that?
yeah, even without it getting into the movie, if you watch his Breakfast Club interview, Ryan Coogler went on the Breakfast Club and he was on his promotional tour, so he did a lot of interviews. Listening to the passion that he talks about projects, all right, listening to the passion where he talks about just film in general. There was an Instagram video that I posted on my story where he broke down how they use the IMAX camera and why you need to watch the film in IMAX because of the aspect ratio. That's the only way you're going to get the full image of what they captured. Everything else is going to be a cropped version, so you're not getting the full vision. So even that, just like the way he broke it down, Joe Spider was genius. You can tell he is dedicated to his craft. He's a scholar of his craft, and it made me go back to my bag. Like, hold up, what can I talk about with that type of passion?
Mm.
What can I talk about with that level of intellect, that level of genius, that level of authenticity, to where just by listening to me speak, you're going to feel inspired. So it had me just doing some self reflection. So even
Yeah.
if you can watch the movie, definitely it's a must see, but watch the interviews that he did, the promotional tours that he did, the stories that he tells about his like just ascension to where he is today. Dope.
Yeah, it's dope. I saw the Breakfast Club interview. I
Mhm.
saw there was I want to say there was another one with him and Michael B. Jordan that they
Mhm.
did that I saw. I don't know if it was Sway in the Morning or whatnot, but it was another interview I saw with them too, which was really dope. I don't know, maybe it was Ebro. I think it was Ebro. That's what it
Okay.
was. But another dope interview, and then I did see the breakdown that Ryan Coogler did with the film aspect of it, and it was really tight because, sometimes people like get this stigma like, okay, yeah, like you dope, but you don't really know like
Right.
what you know, like what the professionals know. It's like, bro, he's been making films for 10 years, man. Like I
Talk
think
on it.
I think he knows what he's doing, you know what I mean? And but this was able to kind of dissect, he was able to dissect it with from a lens that only people who would really know what they're talking about
Mhm.
really like not necessarily really understood, but really knew that he knew that he was talking about. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, but he dissected it in a way that made it simple for us to digest as people
Exactly.
who aren't really familiar with film and how the recording process works. So I thought that was really dope. Yeah, it was really good breakdown. So shout out to you for highlighting that. I think for me, one of the things that I loved from it, or got inspired from it, was just seeing the creativity that he was able to display
Hmm.
in this timepiece, right? From the 1930s, like just going back and being able to like create this vampire film from the roots, like,
Yeah.
from back in the day, but then also making it like, you know, including our culture in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I think that was super, super inspirational, just showing how we're all connected. We
Yep.
we're all connected from a cultural aspect of it. We're all connected from an experiential aspect of it. Like it's still, no matter what part of the diaspora you are in, whether you're talking about traditional lands, whether you're or historical African lands, or whether you're talking about living in the U.S., or even talking about, just being a part of the culture via music. It was just like you felt,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I feel that it definitely hit multiple layers of culture, of identity. Something I wanted to bring to light, and I think it's going to be a good segue into what we might talk about today. Was he talked about how lucky and blessed he was to have worked with Chadwick Boseman,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
At the time that he did, at where Chadwick was, of course, in his career, and just the genius of an actor that he was, a thespian that he was, to be able to work with him as a director at that time on Black Panther, which, I think some people might be like, oh man, Ryan Coogler just got that because he's black. Listen, the vision and the execution that Ryan Coogler did on Black Panther, I don't think anyone else would have done,
right.
right? The incorporation of culture, music, the different shots, like it's just it was him, right? So it had to be him. But he only got that position because of course he did his thing at USC Film School, right?
Hmm.
Of course he did his amazing job and stamp on Fruitvale Station. Right, I was able to build a relationship with Michael B. Jordan and go into the Creed universe, and then he got his big shot at Black Panther, and all of that again stemmed from not luck, not being, well, being blessed a little bit. Death shout to the ancestors, but he was ready, he was prepared, and he was a scholar. He was prepared to take action and execute on the vision when that opportunity was presented.
Yeah, and I think that, kind of puts me into goes right into our topic, right? Because when he talked about his experience at USC, and he talked about how he got connected with someone who was like
Mm,
living at USC as well, and playing, like, he was great at instruments and stuff like that, and like him connecting with someone else who then tied him to, you know what I mean, someone who was able to allow him to do the film for Fruitville Station. It's like that what is what propelled his career. Like, all of those things are important, but at the end of the day, it starts with, him being prepared, right? Like him doing the dirty work, him getting his hands involved in massaging the foundational stage of his
mm-hmm,
career. And I think that luck is a part of the game, right? Like luck
yeah,
is, it does happen, right? Like you still have to be blessed to be in a position to be able to do something, but we can't ignore the fact that, like, you still have to have the ability to do what needs to be done for
right,
you to be elevated. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, Lil Wayne is lucky that he got attached to Birdman at 14 years old, right? Because that changed his career. It propelled his career. Whereas if he was attached to Joe Schmo, sitting on the corner not doing nothing, then he'd have just been a nice rapper in New Orleans that nobody
right,
knows or heard of, right? But because he
right,
was able to attach himself to Birdman, right, he was able to propel his career and give him what he needed. But even though he had that luck, Wayne still had to be a rapper that
facts.
was elite to be able to be, and that level of hunger, bro. Like,
Mm,
it's not enough just to be um a rapper, but you got to also be hungry for continuous growth, because a lot of people, they get stagnant, right? They're like, "Oh, I'm comfortable and content with where I am, so I don't need to get better. I'm already dope." You know what I mean? When in
Yep,
reality, it's like the people who become legendary have a little bit of luck, but one thing they do also have is that drive to keep growing, to keep pushing, to keep moving
mhm,
because they know that they can be better.
for sure, for sure. So for the folks that are listening, folks that are watching, think about what lucky opportunity do you want to be prepared for?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to. That's a wise word. I'm gonna have
Think,
to write that down.
think
I'm
about
writing that
that.
down right now.
Yeah. What is a lucky opportunity that you want to be prepared for in life so that you can take full advantage? Right, that it could be to meet a certain celebrity, it can be to meet a certain CEO. Maybe you're trying to get a job, so it's like, if I could only meet so and so from this job, cool. What's the opportunity, and then what is in your control to be prepared, so when that opportunity presents itself, when you are blessed, when you do get lucky, you can actually take full advantage. Right, and I definitely have examples from my own life where we were like, man, in business for Play Black Wall Street, man, if only we could somehow get into the schools. It would be so dope if somehow we can get into the schools. Should I go into the story right now?
Yeah, let's
You
go.
let me
Story
know.
time. Story
Story
time.
time. Let's go. All right. So back in 2000, and I might have told this story before, but in 2021, right, the start of uh the epidemic and all that stuff, I had a brother reach out to me and say, hey bro, I just became vice principal at a school, and if you can create a proposal, I can let you do a mentorship program after school that is based on financial literacy, but it is going to be in the Bay. All right, so I was like, all right, cool. I
Bet.
wrote up the proposal, right? I put my foot in that proposal. At this point, I like writing proposals, Joe. I'll be honest with you, it's fun. But after I wrote it, the queen was like, Devon, I'm not moving to the Bay. there's there's no way. And I was like, all right. So
She's like,
I she's like, no, she vetoed that real quick. But we had the proposal. We were prepared. All right. 1 year later, I had someone else reach out to me and say, hey, we want you to come and do mentorship program in Los Angeles built on financial literacy. But the deadline to submit the proposal is next month. So I need a quick turnaround. I was like, I already got the proposal. Right? We were already ready. We were already prepared for this opportunity somewhere else. It didn't work out, but we took that same preparation, we're able to apply it to something else, and then we got the contract, and now we are in Los Angeles Unified Schools. Right.
mm,
So again, something that we manifested since 2018. We were like, man, we really want to be into schools. We really want to be in after school programs. We want to teach more in schools, but we weren't ready yet. We started working. One opportunity presented itself. We were prepared, but wasn't the right time, wasn't the right location. And then another opportunity came. Is it luck? A little bit. A little bit is luck. But again, if we didn't execute, if we weren't had our paperwork together, we didn't have the insurance together, our EIN together, the LLC, the curriculum built out, if we didn't have all those things, that lucky opportunity would have meant nothing.
and I think that's important too, because a lot of people, I think they don't grasp the concept of that preparation process. Like it's
Mm,
not like y'all did all of those things at once, right? Like it's not like 1 week we was like, all right, we're doing this. We got it all done. Cool. All right, now let's just wait on the opportunity, right? What happens is like it's sort of like a progression, right?
mm-hmm.
Like for example, there was an opportunity that I got a chance to speak at a community college. I was like at their keynote that ended up, paying me a significant amount.
Come on,
Um,
significant. We
and,
love to hear it.
significant amount, right? And so but that opportunity came because there was another opportunity that I had before that to be a keynote at an event that paid nothing,
Mm,
right? So that event paid nothing. And that opportunity came because I was doing weekly Wise Word Wednesdays every week for what I'm saying, for a little over 2 years at that point, right?
mm,
And I was telling somebody about how I love being a motivational speaker. I'm passionate. And they was like, oh, well, I got just happened to have this event that I would love for you to keynote for. Cool. So I'm like,
mm,
I'm super dope. They make the flyer. I'm excited. I'm like, oh, I get there. Everybody reposting the flyer. I'm like, oh, this
yeah.
is about to be lit. I get there and it's like 3 people. It's like,
Yep.
bruh, it's like,
Like,
mind you, I got a homie that's like, he's like, bro, I'm gonna come check you out too. I'm gonna come watch you speak. I'm like,
mm,
bet, like, boy, I got this opportunity. It's dope. And it was only a 15-minute speaking, engagement, but I was like, dope. And I got there, bro, and it was like 3 people. You feel
yeah,
me? But I did my 15 minutes. You feel me? And I killed it, right?
yeah.
And after that, it was cool. But months later, somebody was like, hey, bro, like I saw your flyer that you spoke at this school, like for this program, and like we would like to have you speak here, right? I'm
Mm,
like, oh, I bet, like, cool, you know what I mean? Like they like, oh, we want you to do 45 minutes.
sheesh.
Bet, cool.
Mm,
What we talking about? And then they started talking about the price. And I'm like, oh yeah, big bet. This is cool for sure. This is right up
mm,
my alley. And so, but again, all of those things kind of led up to, if I didn't have the Wise Word Wednesdays that I was doing
mhm,
for every week for about 2 years at that point, then I wouldn't have had the ability to, or the confidence, right, to talk to my colleague about this, about being passionate about motivational speaking, right? And then doing that motivational speaking, right, got me an opportunity to speak there, which led to me getting the chance to speak for a motivational speaking contest and
mm,
win,
mm,
which then later led to me speaking at this paid event that was, and that just started the process of getting, now being a continuous professional paid speaker. So it's
mhm,
like, it's a buildup, right? Like it's not like somebody was like, hey, I want you to speak. We're going to pay you this amount and we need you to talk for 45 minutes. It was like, it was a buildup that's gradual. And eventually, if you continue to do the little things, this takes me back to, I don't know if you ever watched this movie called Holes back in the day.
of
There was a
course.
digging up a hole, digging it, digging up. You feel me? Hole.
Mhm,
Yeah, that was my movie back in the day with Shia LaBeouf,
yep.
right? But there was this thing about like where they had the what was it, not Hector, but what was his name, Stanley's family back in the day was supposed to carry like a pig up the mountain, right? And
Mhm,
in order to let the pig drink or whatever, and then take it back down the mountain. And it's like every day the pig went from a small piglet to like a huge pig. And I was like, well, how is he going to do that? It's because every day he got stronger as he carried the pig up that mountain every day. And so even though the pig
mhm,
grows, you do too with the process, because you're going
mhm.
and carrying it every single day. Even though it's growing, you don't even recognize it because it's always been heavy to you because you're carrying it. And so your
Right.
strength grows. So it's like, that's what the process is like when you talk about being successful. It's gradual, little 1% every day. It gets you to 100% at some point. And
Mhm.
when you get to 100% at some point, that's when people are going to recognize even more what you're capable of doing. And that's how you'll ultimately get that luck, that quote unquote luck.
Sir, I don't know if you realize the dissertation that you just laid out to people. Because like listen, it was steps, right? It was a literal blueprint to how you can manifest luck for yourself. And the step one that I don't want to gloss over was you need to commit to sharing your gift,
Mm,
right? You said Wise Word Wednesdays for 2 years before anything happened, right? So, and what is, identify your gift, and two, how are you sharing your gift with other people for free so they even know what you got, right? The second thing was, you said you talked to someone and you just shared your passion for public speaking. You just want to get into it, right?
yep.
Sometimes, and I don't. Maybe this is a me thing. Y'all, you let me know. But it took me a while to be comfortable sharing dreams with people.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it took me a while to feel comfortable to say, hey, I want to create a board game, or I want to write a book, I want to direct a movie. Like it took me a while to feel comfortable sharing that without people thinking like, man, you can't do that, or calling me stupid, or like just bringing it down. And I'm getting to a point now where I'm willing to share, but it took a while to get comfortable in that.
Yeah.
Right?
Why do you think that is, man? Because I also uh I also felt that at one point, but I know that like I'm definitely a confident person. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like it's when I walk anywhere, when I go anywhere, I'm confident. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I don't trip about what other people think, but why is it that about our passion, we try to like hold on to it or hide it, or like we're afraid of judgment
Mm,
for the things we're passionate about, but we're not afraid of judgment on the things that don't really matter,
mhm.
like don't really matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think naturally as humans, we are afraid of being different, right? And I think
Mhm.
your dream, hopefully, your dream is what's going to make you different, right? Your talent, your skill, your dream is what's going to set you apart from other people in the room. If you're standing in the room and everybody in there has the exact same dream, that'll be interesting to me. So I feel like we don't want to seem different. So if I say, "Hey man, my dream in life is I want to build a city," people be like, "What? Man, that's weird. Why would you want to build a city? Why don't you be an athlete? Go to be a professional rapper, be a doctor, like do something normal. Building a city, that's not possible." They shoot that down. Now I'm sitting there like, man, maybe I can't do that, right? And I think that is the feeling. We're protecting the dream, and I think we're also protecting our own emotions from people thinking that we're weird.
That's real. That's real stuff. I do want to shout out Jason Greenidge, Bookworm Sigma 13 is in the
Oh, what's
building.
popping?
He said, "Are you still with UCLA?" Nah, you're not with UCLA no more. He done switched over.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying? Made the
nah.
switch.
Yes, sir. Play Black Wall
um,
Street. Tap in.
Facts. Play Black Wall Street, the board game, 100%. And I think the interesting part about, what when you're actually get to that point where you've been investing for a while, and you get to that point where um people are starting to see what your investment has returned.
Hmm.
I think it's beautiful because now that space creates opportunity for other people as well too, like not
Right.
just you, right? Like with you, for example, right, with Play Black Wall Street. Now that you started this in 2017, right?
Yes, sir.
2017.
Yep.
So 2017, you've been investing since then, and then you got invested, and then your wife got invested, and then because of that time from 2017 to 2022, now you found yourself in a space where like, okay, now we're able to employ other people,
Hmm.
so we're pouring into their investment now, into their talents, into their skill sets and their development, right? And it all started because there was a 3, 4, 5 year period where you were like, this is what I need to do. Like, this is what
Facts.
I'm passionate about. And it's crazy because many people will say, well, those people who are working with you are lucky that they know you. It's like, yeah, they are, but I'm also employing talented people. And
That
now
part.
I can pour into their development and skill set because they were already developing that craft, whether they was in college or whether it was in their neighborhood and their communities. So it's just crazy to see like the return on investment from one individual having an idea and then believing in that idea to multiple people, kind of pushing forward. So I just think that's dope.
Love. And we can say the same thing about this platform, right? You started off solo doing Why Word Wednesdays for 2 years, right?
Yep.
Now that opportunity has presented it where you have a podcast. I'm able to join the podcast. People that are in your audience who never knew me now get engaged, and now I'm able to connect with more people. So again, it definitely goes both ways. But something that I wanted to highlight is understanding the concept of sweat equity.
Whew.
All right, we
Yeah.
we we understand. I think equity to a certain amount, as far as you have a house, right? You bought it for $100,000. 10 years later, it's now worth $150,000. So you have $50,000 roughly of equity, right?
Hmm.
But there's also within building a business, the sweat equity that you put into a business that generates that equity as well. And you have to be willing to put in the sweat equity for your dream before another investor comes in, before you hire employees. What can you commit to for the 2 years, for the 1 year, for 6 months? The action that you're going to put into this company, the sweat equity, in order to increase that value and increase your chances of getting lucky.
Absolutely. That's 100%. And I also want to shout out Ade is in the chat. He said, my good brothers, no mob.
Day.
Shout out to the
What's
mob.
popping?
You know what I'm saying? And
Man, all
also,
sorry, real quick on all day. I don't know if
yeah.
y'all follow Black Market Flea. And all day, I don't know if you saw this video. I meant to send it to you. Black Market Flea had a video of you grooving, bro. You were out there shaking the locks, and they had
Going
you on
crazy. He
there
was
for like
going
a minute and
crazy.
a half. I was like, is that all day? I was like, yeah, that's all day right there. Man, so shout
Dope.
out to you, man.
Yeah, shout out to the bro. And then I also want to shout out Love and Tennis.
Yeah.
That's Sharisha. Shout out to you for joining. I love this
Uh,
topic: luck versus prep, or luck versus hard work, luck versus opportunity. Absolutely, 100%. And also love what you're doing as an entrepreneur with the tennis group. By the way, I'll be telling people too about your tennis. She has this
come
dope
on.
thing where like they do tennis and like a tipsy tennis kind of thing where like they be having fun. I
Mm,
haven't been able to get out there myself, but I definitely be telling people about it. Anybody that I know that be interested in tennis, I'll be showing mad love and I'll be telling, hey, check this out, check this out. So shout out to you for peeping. But yeah, it definitely takes that sweat equity. And I think what people, and I love the fact that you use like the property thing, because it's like you have to pay, right? That like you're invested in that $100,000, right, for that property, right? And
mm,
then maybe like you said, 10 years later, it's worth 150. But while that 150 was building an equity, you were still making payments.
yep.
You know what I'm saying? You were still fixing things. You still gotta change the carpet. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
Facts.
the water heater done went out. You gotta replace the water heater. So it just shows that like you're gonna have to continuously invest in it. Like again, where that passion is, you could leave it. You could leave it, but just know the equity isn't going to grow as much because you haven't invested into fixing it. You haven't
Mm,
fine tuned it. And that's the same thing with your gifts, and that's the same thing with preparing you to elevate to that next level. You have to be willing to continuously do the small work that other people will not see.
that part.
Other people do not. And I like this example as well. If you have a tree, what I was told when I was younger, they said if you look at a tree, however high up it is
Mm,
in the sky, it's that same depth below.
mm,
So what it looks like up in the air, if you turn it upside down, that's the way it's going to look below, right? So that means that just as you're growing in everybody's face, you also got to be growing and putting in work when nobody else can see it.
mm.
Otherwise, if the tree was to go that high up and the root didn't go that far down, it would tumble over
Preaching
when the
right now,
wind comes,
bro.
right? It would
Golly.
tumble over because it's not built to withstand the pressure of
Mm-hmm.
being that high, that tall. And
Yep.
so when you don't continuously develop, you don't continuously put in the work that nobody else can see, that nobody else will be able to observe, it doesn't mean the work is not happening, right?
Mm.
But if you're unable to do that, what's going to happen is when the storm comes, which it inevitably will, because the
Every time.
storm comes every year.
Mm,
Every single year. I know we live in California. I
mm,
know you live in SoCal, so it don't rain as much. But
mm,
at the end of the day, there's always something, right, that you will be prepared for if you put in the work.
mm,
But if you don't, believe me, you're going to come tumbling down. And then you're going to say, well, what happened? Well, what happened was you depended on luck.
mm.
There's a difference between being prepared for luck and being dependent on it.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Man, so two things came to my head. The first, well, actually, this was the second, but when you were talking about how the tree grows and you need to sustain yourself, so as high as you grow high or upwards, you need to grow deep as well. I thought about just deep being knowing yourself, right, and
Mm,
doing like that spiritual healing, doing that own your own internal journey of healing through trauma, getting your therapy, and that type of growing downward so that when you get all this money, it doesn't go to your head, right? I think I've seen that with some people where they get put on, they get a lot of money during a certain period of time, but they're not surrounding themselves with people that they know and trust. They have a completely new set of friends. They
right.
didn't do the deep internal work, and then that money goes, and they're back where they were before. Or sometimes it can happen worse for people, right? So I think that self development and that healing very important. The second thing you said something about you got like when we're talking about the house, you gotta fix it up, right? You
Mm-hmm.
gotta you gotta make the renovations. And
Right.
if your body is a temple, right? If your body is that capsule, how are you improving yourself? And I took a shout out to Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher. Him and Carl, they had a, what was it called? It was like idea to content type of mastermind. It was like a 6 week program, and then we flew out to Michigan to meet them in person. This was
Oh,
in
that's dope.
2000. Yeah, it was a good experience. Cost $3,000 up front. This is in 2021, and this is before we get into the schools, right? So again, talking
Mhm.
about the preparation and the luck. I was like, you know what, Queen, I want to get better at content. I want to learn how the camera angles are supposed to go. I want to learn how to build courses. And she was a little on the fence about it, but I get like one reckless purchase a year. I get like one where it's like, hey, can I just go ahead and swipe this, Queen? She's like, all right,
Shout
this is
out
your
to the
one.
queen. One reckless purchase per year.
I get one reckless purchase per year, and I get like 3 pro bono speaking engagements per year because there was a time where I was just speaking for free just all the time. So shout out to the queen. She definitely regulates the income and outcomes. But took the class, right? Learned how to position the camera angles well. Learned how to create a course using a platform called Thinkific. Learned how to just build video type content. And again, this is in 2021. Then 2022, we get the opportunity to start working in the schools because it's fresh. I'm the one, I go out, I teach the classes, and I have a mentor there with me to support. 2023, we double, and I can't be everywhere. So
Mm.
now I'm like, well, how can I be there but not be there? And I thought back to the video curriculum that I learned from ET and Carl Phillips. So then I created video modules that can be at every school site. So, and then the mentor, the college students that we train, they know the curriculum, but in case they, stumble on anything, they have the video right there embedded in the PowerPoint presentation where I'm walking through the curriculum for the students, and then the mentors can add on. But again, that ability to double in schools really was made possible because I invested a $3,000 to improve myself, to learn how to create video content, to learn how to create courses on platforms like Thinkific, and then we were able to scale the business.
And I think that's a dope example again that like you're not going to see the return immediately. You might not even see the purpose immediately,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like there's plenty of times where like you probably might have been reading something
Facts.
and or learning something and been like, I'm probably never gonna need this, but I'm gonna read it anyway, right? Because it's supposed to be relative or relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. But then something happens and you're like, oh, I remember
Mm-hmm.
that one time when I did that one thing, right? So it's dope because it's like most times when we look back at the times where in our lives where we were um blessed, the times in our lives where we were invested in, times in our lives where someone was like, let me look out for you. We actually prepared for that at some point that we didn't even know we were preparing ourselves for.
Mm-hmm.
Even when somebody was like, hey, bro, I want to, let me mentor you when it comes to this speaking stuff, right? The reason they did that is because I had already put myself in position by being a speaker and talking about being a speaker and being in places where other speakers exist and thrive,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's like, again, it's a long game. It's not a right now. It's not a right now. Most times, and that's even again going back to you with the real estate, which is I think is a really really dope example. Even when you buy the real estate, it's not like you buy it today and next week it's worth $150,000.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? You bought it this week 100,000, you next week 150,000. It's like, trust me, if it was that fast,
That's a flip.
that's a flip.
What's a
You know what I'm
flip?
saying? That's a flip. But most things that truly have that return is going to cost you time, energy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And patience. It's going to take
Yeah.
patience.
Oh yeah. So I wanted to bring the question back because I know we got some folks that are watching live. A lot of people are going to be listening on the recording.
Yes, sir.
What is the lucky opportunity you are preparing for. All right, I got two in my mind. Let me know if you got something in mind too, Josiah. But what is the lucky opportunity you are preparing for? Number one, and I was close. It almost happened. I want to be able to meet Kevin Hart and pitch him a animated Black History series that we have.
Ooh,
Okay,
I
and
like that.
it almost happened because I went to a Afro Animation conference 2 weeks ago in Burbank. Dope conference, met a lot of great people, and there was a Lil Kev signing, but it wasn't him there. It was another team member there. I was like, oh,
Mm,
right there. But that's one thing I want to manifest because I want to create animated series similar to a Nickelodeon Cartoon Network, but they're all going to be centered on Black history. And I know that's the lane that Kevin Hart is getting into. So to be able to partner with him and Heartbeat Studios to get a global audience, to get our Rose and Rodney series on Netflix, I think would be an amazing opportunity. So that's one that I'm definitely manifesting and working to still be prepared for in that moment when I see him. Another one is I want to be prepared to pitch to billionaires or multi-millionaires to invest in a real estate development opportunity.
mm, ooh,
I want to be prepared. I'm starting to meet with some folks. Me and my dad are starting to drive around, look at land, run numbers, do practice pro formas on what we can build and how that real estate development might be able to return investments and dividends to our folks. But I'm not to a point where if I met a billionaire right now, would I be ready to pitch? Definitely not, right? So I could be lucky to meet a Jay-Z. I could be lucky to meet a Robert Smith. I could be lucky to meet a LeBron James, but I wouldn't be able to execute right now. So I'm
right.
preparing for what that 5 minute, 10 minute meeting might look like right now.
I love that. I love that. Let me get to some of these comments real quick.
Yeah.
I saw that. Let's see. We had the storm is coming, or storm coming is guaranteed. That was a
Mm,
couple comments back. Shouts out, and then I know that Day also said it's not how much money you make, it's how much you keep. That's what his pop
facts,
said. Okay, shout out to pops for that.
facts.
My boy Spot, G Spot, shout out to the mob is thick in the building right now.
Come
Great
on.
topic, brothers. Where do you find these courses to create courses or curriculum to teach these topics that don't exist for Black folks in our community? He's in LA. Ooh, that's a good question. I'll let you answer that, Devon, because I know you definitely have created and taught some specific courses. In fact, we got the summer program coming up this June.
Yeah,
We
that's a
definitely got
good
to put that
plug,
up.
actually.
Yeah, yeah. Talk
That's a
about it.
good plug. So this summer we're doing our first in-person Black Future Fest. So you can go to Black Future Fest, and Black is spelled BLK futurefest.com to tap in. This is going to be in Riverside, California. We're going to have workshops on animation, game design, African centered education, Afrofuturism, sports psychology. Yep, blackfuturefest.com. Definitely tap in. Right now, you can join the wait list on our website. That way, you can get notifications on updates for the event. But how do you find courses to build courses? Was that the direct question?
Yeah, it was to build courses or curriculum so they can teach these topics that don't exist for Black folks.
Got it. So the one that I did was it was I2C. Let me see if they still got it online. I2C Carl Phillips was the program that I did. And one of the folks on there, yep, it's right there. Deeper than the brand, I2C Academy. All right, so you can join that. I have no business relationship with them. I don't get no money for sending you them, but just know I took that course and I've been able to make at least 10x what I put in, right? From
Wow.
executing on what they did, executing on what they taught me, I've been able to generate at least 10x the investment. So I think it's definitely a great investment. I hope it's still $3,000. If it went up from there, I can't, vouch for that 10x anymore. Um, but if it's still at 3,000, grab that thing. So that one I can definitely recommend. Of course, you can use ChatGPT and ask it, hey, what are the top 10 courses that I can take online or in person that would teach me how to build a course on Kajabi, Thinkific, XYZ, and I'm sure it'll pump out a list for you. But I to see, got my stamp.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate that. Great responses. I will say in regards to the question, for me, one of the things I think, I'm preparing for is preparing to write and publish an autobiography.
Love.
I think, one of the things that's been because part of the reason, like a part of my motivational speaking, a part of my speeches, my presentations, a huge part of it is my story, right? Like talking about my life, my experiences. And I often try to make sure that the experience that I'm talking about is relative to the folks that I'm engaging with, right? But so much has happened since those stories that I typically share.
Mm,
But I know that part of the reason that I get hesitant is because I'm waiting to reach a level of success before I do it, because I feel like it's an autobiography that won't people don't typically care about unless they care about you. You know what I mean?
mm.
But I'm definitely preparing to get to that space. I'm definitely not gonna do it while I'm in school. I'll tell you that right now. It's out. That is out.
Mm,
But making sure that I don't leave this idea or this story in the graveyard. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? Like that I'm able to give it roots and allow it to grow and be shared with people, because there's so many people that benefit. And I preach this all the time about that's the whole purpose of Wise Word Wednesdays, is to allow people to learn from your mistakes, allow people to learn from the things that you've done, because whether you know it or not, there's somebody out there watching you and they like, ooh, because they did that, now I'm gonna do that. Or because they did that, now I know not to do that. I can go the opposite way. And
Right.
so I feel like it's important to let people, because I can't, like you said, you can't physically be everywhere all the time. But if you have that digital copy or that physical copy of that book, you're able to still share the same stories and share information and share wisdom and provide that with people. So that's definitely one. Number one is doing the autobiography, and then the second thing is writing. Clearly I like to write, is writing a Wise Word Wednesday book. So making sure
Mm.
that people have access to Wise Word Wednesdays from an actual book copy, to where it has different things that you can do and see and write to and think about on a, whether it's a daily basis, a weekly basis, or a monthly basis. So trying to provide folks with some words of wisdom for those that like to do reading or journals and things like that.
Love it. When do you want the Wise Word Wednesday book to come out?
So the book, technically, if I wanted it to come out in like a month, I probably could,
Oh,
because
you got it.
because it's not even that. It's that all of my Wise Word Wednesdays are digitally recorded. Right. So like it's
Okay.
now it's just going, and there's a now, thanks to technology, I don't have to type it myself. I can literally have it transcribed on it electronically and then just go and do the edits. But the
Mm.
problem is, again, being in school,
It's busy.
yo, is and I don't even talk about school a lot on my social media or on my on this stuff. So I try not to talk about what I'm working on while I'm working on it. But yeah, school
Mm.
has got me tied. So but yeah, so I would say my goal is to do the Wise Word Wednesday book probably within the year, within 6 months after graduation. That's my
Dope.
goal.
Love it. Looking forward to the book launch party, man. Let's do it.
I appreciate that. Appreciate
Easy.
that.
Easy.
Any last minute, because I know we gotta get up out of here real soon, man. Any last minute notes? And I know I interrupted you earlier because you were breaking down some of the points I made. We talked about investing it. With any last points I made that maybe you
Yeah.
wanted to kind of follow up on? And
Oh yeah, back to your original dissertation, right?
yeah,
It was it was define your gift, right? Well, what is it that you're gifted in, right? So Joe Spida is like inspirational, motivation speaking. Number two, what is the way that you share that gift with the world, right? So again, using you as a model, Wise Word Wednesdays, whether that's a blog post, a tweet, an X, a YouTube video, an Instagram, like you're sharing it with the world constantly. Number three was share your actual dream. What's the end goal? What do you want to do? Right? You said I'm passionate about speaking and I want to be able to motivate people and just speak to people with my stories. Right? You said that to a person and then they gave you the opportunity. So number four is when you get the opportunity, whether it's free, whether it's one person, whether it's virtual, whether it's in person, 120%. execute on whatever free or paid opportunity you get. And then number five, yes, five, one, two, three, four, fifth
Yeah.
is be able to have people reach out to you for the paid gig, right? So you did the free one, and then someone was like, "Oh man, I saw you do that," and somehow they reached out to you to get the paid gig. And then six, follow through 120% on the paid opportunity. So I feel like those easily are a six-step blueprint to no matter what your goal is, whether it's in technology, whether it's in film, whether it's in acting, you should be able to follow somewhat this six-step blueprint to be ready for that lucky opportunity.
I'm gonna add another step in there. Record yourself or take pictures,
Mm,
document, you know what I'm saying? Because those things can go a long way. Doesn't matter if you're talking in front of 5 people, 20 people, or 1,000 people. At the end of the day, record that so that way you can have that digital documentation to be able to provide for others. Because there's times where, like, when people are asking me, like, hey, do you have some video, some content of things of you speaking? I have a bunch of stuff that I can say, oh, I posted this here, this here, this there. And I'm person, I do not like posting myself. Period. Like I'm telling you, like if you go to my page, if it wasn't for Wise Word Wednesdays, you probably wouldn't see me because I do
yeah.
not like posting myself. I don't like posting when I speak. I don't like it, but I know at the end of the day, when people say, "Hey, do you have a reference?" I'm able to have links that I can just say, "Hey, go to this post right here. This post right here shows me doing
Mhm.
this and that." So I definitely encourage you all to also document that digitally. Lastly, I also want to shout out to G Spot is in the building consistently. He said, "What should we expect from Black Future Fest?" I want to make sure we acknowledge that before we get out of here.
Oh yeah. So Black Future Fest again, check it out, blackfuturefest.com, blkfuturefest.com. So we're going to have, of course, some keynote speakers and panels around Afrofuturism. If you haven't learned what Afrofuturism is, it's basically a aesthetic on how you can see black bodies, black minds, and black intellectuals in the future, 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years, 10 million years. All right. So want to break down what that is. We're going to have workshops on real estate investing with my cousin. Shout out to Kai. He's actually the person who helped us get this house that we're in today. So he's going to break down introduction to real estate investing. We're also going to have Dr. Augustine Okusun, the founder of Court to Corporate, teaching mostly students, but it can be anybody how to translate your skills as an athlete into skills as a corporate person. All right. So Dr. Augustine Okusun, dope person from Nigeria, but played professionally basketball all around the world and is now in the US mentoring students and teaching them how to go from the court to corporate living. Past that, we're also going to be doing introduction to entrepreneurship, how to start your business, and then an education panel with several educators talking about the importance and power of African-centered education. There's going to be more stuff there. If you want more information, again, go to the website, join the email list, and then you'll get updates. It is going to be Sunday, June 29th at La Sierra University. Come through 9 to 4 p.m. free.
Man,
Free. Come through.
man, man, and I can't
And
wait,
you
man.
coming too, right? You gonna
Of
be on
course,
a panel.
I'm in the building
You gonna
for
be in the
sure.
building. Come
I'm
on
in the
now.
building, so I definitely because I know we've been doing, well, you've been doing this for years, and I definitely have
Yeah.
collaborated with you
It's
on
been
this.
we. Yep, you've been right there. It's
Yeah.
been we.
Well, I'm just saying you've been doing the whole thing. I have my portion that I've supported, you know what I mean, and collaborated with. But I know we've been talking about like, man, I can't wait to do this live. Can't wait to do this in person. I'm like, bro, I wouldn't miss it. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be there.
Love.
It's gonna be, it's gonna be a dope event, and so hopefully we can have you pull up anybody that wants to. Again, it's for free. Definitely invite the young folks, invite the older folks,
Mhm,
invite people. Just let them know here's an
mhm.
opportunity to be able to gain some insight, some information completely free and network. I think the
That
people you
part.
can't forget about the networking aspect of the things like this or how partnerships are made, or how business deals can be made, or how
Mhm.
collectivism can be made right here at things like this. It's not always like I'm going to go there because I know for sure things are going to happen, but you go there with the opportunity, like, hey, you never know who you're going to meet. Exchange business cards, exchange numbers, and you're like, oh, snaps, like this is actually I definitely need to exchange with this person here. So there's so much that's going to happen, and I'm excited for it, and we look forward to seeing the folks that decide to come out and participate. So shout out to that. And also, Spot asked what degree am I pursuing? I'm getting a doctorate. I'm getting a doctorate. So yeah,
Come
it's
on.
yeah, trying. It's been a lot, you know what I mean? Right now I'm wrapping up year 1, so I got a couple more after this, but yeah, it's been a lot of work. And again, I don't usually talk about it. I don't usually, brag about it or nothing like that. I usually like to let people see the end result, and then they just be like pop up with like boom, there it is. Look, I got you feel me? But
Doctor. Yeah.
yeah, doctor. So definitely appreciate everybody. You got any last words you want to leave the folks with?
Go do it. That's it.
Go do it. I
Go
love it. I
do it.
love it, man. Thank you to everybody that tuned in, that commented. I appreciate y'all. I want y'all to also don't forget to subscribe to the Wise Word Wednesday YouTube channel.
Hmm.
If you can, I would definitely appreciate that. Also, because when you leave comments under the Wise Word Wednesday YouTube channel, we can post it on the actual feed. So that way folks that are watching the recorded version, they can see your comments as well. But appreciate you. Devon, always thankful, man. We continue this once a month. We've
Let's
been
do it.
rocking. I can't wait to next time you out here, we can get the live going again. I
Let's
realized, bro, I
do it.
messed up with the mic. I don't know if you watched the replay of it, but I forgot to plug the mic or turn the mic, switch it. I did it like halfway through, so the
Mm.
sound quality is a little jacked up at the last one. But next time you hear, I'm gonna get my. I was just going through a bunch of
It
issues. You
was a
saw what I was
day.
going through
It
trying to
was
get
a
everything
day.
going, but we
Yeah.
made it. We made it happen. And so next time you're out here, I would definitely love to do another live
Easy.
recording. So I appreciate you. And thank you to the queen as always, for allowing me to steal you away. Always appreciate her. Even when she's not here, she is always here and appreciated. So I
That's a
appreciate that.
fact. Of course. Always appreciate the opportunity, man. We're gonna run it back in May.
Yes, sir. Y'all, I'm gonna leave y'all like I
Oh,
typically do, man. Oh, wait, what?
we can do a live one in June. Black Future Fest. Let's go.
Ooh, I'm with it.
All right.
I'm with it. I'm
That's
with it.
fire.
That's
Let's do
crazy
it.
how this just happened while we were. Yeah. I'm with
Literally.
it.
Let's
We'll talk about that
all
for
right, bet.
sure.
Bet,
For
bet, bet.
sure. So we fresh, and I love y'all. Be smooth.